Hi, hello everyone. Hello Joseph, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Awesome, Ruth. How are you, Ruth?
Great, I'm great. I wanted to first say hello, Happy New Year to you. Welcome to 2017. How is your 2017 so far?
It's going great. Yeah, February's here, and about 10% into the year so far. So it's going really great. Myself, my wife, my family, rocking it so far.
Awesome, awesome. Well, everyone, welcome to this webinar. This is Joseph, and I'm Ruth. And basically, what we want to cover on this call today is a combination of, as some of you guys know, and you guys are part of the 5 a.m. club. What we want to do is to make sure that we keep our goal this year. So, what we're going to learn today on this webinar is how to be inspired every day. How to get up in the morning and be inspired. And Joseph is an expert at this because he's one of the founder of, he's a CEO of a Success Circle. And he also runs a mastermind that's been going on for so many years here in the New York City and abroad, because it could also be done virtually. So Joseph here is actually, we call him the breakthrough engineer, peak performer. So in terms of getting goals done, he's one of the person that I know has one of the best systems to help us achieve it. So again, on this call, what we're going to cover is how to get up first thing in the morning, how to maximize your morning, not just to get up, but how to maximize it and score huge in the few hours that we have throughout the day. In addition to that, we're also going to reframe difficult tasks so that we are excited when we complete them. In addition to that, we'll see how we can minimize distraction with our own personalized rules of engagement. And last but not least, we're going to learn how to re-up our energy when we feel down, when we're not up for it. How can we re-energize ourselves? So as I mentioned, we have here Joseph. Joseph, I've known him for the past year now. We first met when I came to New York about a little bit over a year ago now. I was coming from Business Mastery with Tony Robbins, West Palm Beach. And anybody that's just Tony Robbins student knows that once you leave those environment, you are aesthetic, you want to take over the world, you think you could do it all, which is great, but you also want to be around like-minded individual. So I Googled online, Tony Robbins, Mastermind, and Joseph came around. And I signed up for, I think it was called Peer Momentum. And I had an interview with Joseph because it's actually an application to complete prior to be part of this group. And we just connected. And now it's been 1 year. I've traveled along the way in terms of my growth. And I'm very excited and happy to share this with you guys because I know that it's not easy to accomplish our goals. Even statistics shows that, New Year, everybody has a New Year resolution and we do it every single year, However, now we are in February, mid-February. By next week, February the 15th, today is the February 9th, about 80% of people will have given up on their goals, right? And the worst is that by June, 4% of people would have given up on their goal. So Joseph and I are part of the 2% that is determined to goal this year, right?
Yeah.
And there is no excuse and to get this accomplished. However, there is a system, guys. The same way that there is a system for finance, there is a system to success, right? Success leaves clues. Many people has been successful. All we have to do is to model them, right? So even on Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill says the power of the mastermind and how it's good to be around like-minded individuals. So anyways, without any more hesitation, I want to get Joseph's input here. And again, the reason for that, I'm going to repeat, the reason why we're here today is because we want to support you to help you achieve your goals. And it's not easy, and we're here to provide you with some kind of, tools, resources, education as to how to, if you guys want to be the top 2% that will accomplish your goal this year. So Joseph, please tell me, what are your thoughts about, the New Year's resolution, the fact that people are not accomplishing their goals? But before we even get there, let's talk to people about who we are. who are we? Who's Joseph, right? So tell me more about yourself, your upbringing, how you came about being one of the leaders in the mastermind in terms of being a leader of many leaders. Tell me more about yourself.
Of course, Ruth. And thank you for having me here, Ruth. I want to also communicate to the audience that we're both exercising. One of the key ways of shifting energy is to kind of get moved. So we both move a lot, and it's one of the easiest ways to really generate momentum in your life. It's about moving and exercising and things of that sort. So I'm on a bike right now. Ruth's on a treadmill. A bit about my background. So some of my clients call me the breakthrough engineer. And part of the reason for that is that I used to be an engineer. I'm still an engineer, and I worked in that field for a number of years up until 2001. After 2001, I had a major shift in my life. I realized I wanted to help people and build businesses that engaged people and provided a lot more value versus the work I was doing before that, working in corporate America. That's a bit about my background, and part of that journey also involved going to seminars. So around that time, I started going deeper into personal development. Attended my first Tony Robbins event in 2003, and I still happen to co-organize New York Power Team. We're probably the largest monthly personal development meetup community in New York City at this point. And part of the reason is what Ruth shared before: proximity is power. So I love surrounding myself with people who are up to big things. Some of my closest friends come out of this community too as well. And so that's something that I do. We do that live each month. And even beyond that, as Ruth mentioned, something I do that came out of this work too about 11 years ago is Success Circles. Success Circles is it's a means to support many of us who are entrepreneurs, business owners, and also in transition between careers to get more support. The idea is that every game in the world, like in a baseball or football or basketball or tennis, every game starts with a huddle where the team comes together to kind of strategize or play what they're going to go after next. So the idea with Success Circles is that we all, as leaders, deserve a huddle call as well. So in 20, 30 minutes in my morning, I strategize with a friend of mine, an accountability partner within the community who's up to great things, who's also perhaps a couple steps ahead of me in an area of life that I'm looking to grow in. And out of that, and out of asking each other the right questions, we're able to kind of magnify our growth, set our intentions straight, and go after our day. So that's part of what Success Circles is the idea is like having an accountability partner. So for 11 years, I've been organizing Success Circles, facilitating that community. And as Ruth mentioned too, a couple of years ago, we started the Peer Momentum Mastermind. We've launched about 9 of them so far. And the idea with that is that instead of having a one-on-one partnership, which Success Circles is, what if you had 35 people who knew your goals, who were out there to see you succeed, who shared resources, and who encourage you to focus on living courageously each day? That's the idea about the mastermind. One of the two authors that Ruth mentioned, Napoleon Hill and Tony Robbins, for many of us who've read books or attended events by these two people. Something that I really appreciate that really resonated with me many years ago is that this concept of where focus goes, energy flows. So if I focus on the right things each day, focus on taking small actions, or focus on the vision I have, my why, I believe that extraordinary things will happen out of that. And then for the course of the past 11 years, out of managing about 2,500 partnerships, pairings within Success Circles, with two-way pairings within Success Circles, I've seen that really does work so well. If you focus on raising standards, living courageously on a daily basis, and report that to an accountability partner, amazing things will come out of that. So that's a bit of my background. I'm married, I have a daughter as well, and part of my why is to be a leader. I believe a leader among leaders, and part of it's also to live a fulfilling life and to encourage others that they can also live a fulfilling life as well. Success for me is really about fulfillment, that state of choosing to wake up and embrace gratitude, be blissful, and end the day that way as well also. And for me, that is the heart of what success is. And each of us defines success differently.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. And yes, he does have an amazing, beautiful daughter. I feel like I've known her. I've actually never met her, but because we're part of a group and we have many pictures that are shared, I was able to see her crawling to now she's walking, right? She's
Yeah.
so tall and she's so cute, and I feel like we're growing together. So yeah, so amazing, adorable daughter, amazing wife, and no, and that's the one thing as well that I've realized with the Success Circle. I run a recruiting company. I've been doing this for the past 16 years. So most people that come across me, and of course I'm French, so I'm going to be very blunt. So that's my personality. I'm very blunt, and I'm also very business minded. However, when I first came on the calls for Success Circle, the calls were much more whole. It wasn't just business, which I am on a regular basis, but it was to talk about other things. How's your spiritual life, right? How's your relationship, right? Your health, right? And every single day, if you focus on all aspects of your life, it's like Tony Robbins has the wheels of life, right? The wheel of life, which consists of having a full life. And that's what we're all striving for. We're not striving to have 100% business and 10%, our relationship, because that's actually failure, right? To have, and they explain it all the time, when you have so much money, but you have no one to share it with, that's failure, right? Because you've accumulated stuff, but you have not accumulated relationships. So that's the one good thing as well, that, being part of the Success Circle, I was able to see that a lot of people are much more broad, and it is a journey, right? So it's not something where tomorrow's going to happen. No, every single day. We're human being like everybody else, just trying to better our day each day. But having the tools, I think, is very crucial, right? So based on tools, as we're on the subject of tools, what would you say in regards to what has helped the group in terms of utilizing tools, and what's the importance of having a system? Because everybody could have a mastermind, but what do you feel is the key element? I myself found that the system is one of the things that I've enjoyed about Joseph, because I wanted to start my own mastermind, but I'm like, why? There's a system that's been proven, that's already in place, that's already working with like-minded individuals. So what are your thoughts in regards to the importance of having a tools and a system to get you to achieve your goals?
Awesome. So thanks for that, Ruth. So a couple of things you mentioned just now is the compounding. Like if you make small investments each day, eventually over the course of weeks, months, you'll great results, even in different areas of life. We definitely look at the whole holistic view of life with all of this, with Success Circles. But regarding systems, one of my favorite quotes is by an author named Tim Ferriss, and his latest book is called Tools of Titans. I met him about a month ago in New York.
I have to read. I've read all of his book except for this one. How is it?
It's great. It's all strategies. He's based from his podcast. People's interviewed on strategies that people have taken on to embrace the level of success focus that they have. So it's a great book. I actually enjoy it quite a bit, and he's one of my favorite authors. A quote that he has. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ruth.
Well, no, I was just saying, sorry, if you don't mind, French people, we do that. We're very passionate and we'll just get into the conversation. But I wanted to also elaborate on Jim Ferry. Jim Ferry is one of my favorite authors, with the 4-hour work week, which allows many people, I think, like yourself and other people to live a virtual life in addition to the 4-hour body. But yeah, Tim Ferry is one of the world-known authors. If you guys don't know about it, definitely pick up the book. But sorry, if you don't mind, please continue in regards to what some of the tools that you've learned from Tim Ferry, in addition to the system itself that's in Mastermind.
Awesome. Well, Tim's a very passionate person about when it comes to automation and systems as well. So he's kind of one person that's kind of honed that in me over the years. I met him years ago too, when he first started with the 4-hour work week. A quote that he has, which I share a lot with people, and I agree with it so much. It goes something like this: I value discipline and willpower, but what's more impactful than discipline is having a system that will prevent me from failing. And that quote has so much depth to me because, day in, day out, we wake up in the morning, we might get up on the wrong side of the bed. And
can you say that quote again?
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
Yep. The quote goes, I value willpower and discipline, but what's more impactful is having a system that will prevent me from failing.
I love it.
Yeah.
When you said it the first time I heard it, But now I started second time, I felt it. It's very powerful. Very
Yeah,
powerful. I want
it is.
everybody to hear that as well. Sorry.
Awesome. Awesome. And I have that quote on my website, hackerfocus.com, and there's some other resources there too as well. But the idea with that, and I so agree with that, is that we wake up in the morning, we may not feel as excited or intentional for whatever reason. Right now it's snowing outside, for example, and we need to have a system where we can kind of recharge ourselves. And I know something you do, Ruth, which I really admire, is your 5 o'clock peak performance club, inviting people to kind of get up in the morning and start the day powerfully, and maybe even like hit a home run or score a huge win in the morning before noontime. And it's something that I value as well in my life. And so with the system that I have with Success Circles, for example, when I get onto my call, which is 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, depending on who I'm paired with, for half an hour I have to really show up, and I get asked questions that are very empowering, and that where I have to kind of, in a lot of ways, get out of my comfort zone and start thinking and challenging myself internally. And for example, the questions could be like, how have you raised your standards, or how have you lived courageously yesterday, or simply, how could yesterday have been even better? And I believe by asking oneself that question each day over the course of weeks and months, life will compound itself. And if you can do that in either a pair with a buddy, or in a triad, which I've had also in Success Circles, where you have two other people asking you questions on a very compassionate, effective call, great things come out of it. So that's, for me, that's part of my system that I have, one of the systems I have in my life, that no matter what, I'm fully recharged and present and intentional about my day. And really, it's something that's that's prevented me from failing a whole lot. I mean, I actually encourage people to go fail a lot. Part of life is about going out there and challenging oneself and failing, right? And at the same time, it's important to have people who'll challenge you, and proximity is power. So that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. And everything I do, for the most part, is virtually. I don't have to leave the house unless I want to. And of course I do, to exercise and to step out and, connect with nature and so forth. But the beauty of what we do with Success Circles and Mastermind is it's all virtually based. And so I hope that answers your question. I can go deeper into other rituals and things I do as well. But for me, I believe that if you ask yourself quality questions on a daily basis, you will live a quality life.
Yeah, and thank you for your answer, because that takes us to where the next question is leading us towards, is that part of the system of the mastermind is that there were certain tools and there were certain things that you do on a regular and weekly basis that guarantees success. I know one of the 2 or 3 of them is that we have weekly Sunday calls, right? So the Sunday calls is to help you plan for the day, right? And throughout the week, there's about 4 or 5 different calls to help you course correct. In addition to that, there's a bragging call, mm-hmm. which actually I wouldn't encourage people on the call to maybe have a sample later on if that's okay with you. But what I wanted to ask you is, what is the top 3 or 5 things that you would say that your mastermind is providing that will help anybody that would either want to join a mastermind to do? One of the things that I could think of is, based on what I just mentioned, if you have 4 calls a week, mm-hmm. how can you fail? How can you fail? You have 4 calls reminding you, you have to state your goal 4 times a week. You have to state your goal as well as seeing where you need the help. And then you have a group of people that are here to support you. So I think in any success, and I think Tony Tony was one of the one that says, the map to, I can't remember. It's something about the map to somewhere leads to a town called nowhere, right? I think it's something close to that. So basically it says, I'm going somewhere. But if you're not clear and focused, if you don't hack your focus, as Joseph would say, then you're going to a town called nowhere.
Yep.
Okay? So being focused and having 4 calls a week to remind you of your goals, how can you fail, right?
Exactly.
So in regards to, the tools, what would you say are the 5 things that, you feel that people need in order for them to accomplish their New Year's resolution and overall goals? What would you say is the 5 thing that is key element to help them? Mastermind is one of them.
Yeah.
One of them. But what else would you say that would be a 5 tools for people to achieve their goal this year and overall?
Absolutely. So I'll do my best. I might name more than 5, but the ones that stand out, certainly a community that's really inspired to see you succeed. That's one of them. So kind of your environment. One of my favorite quotes is environment is stronger than willpower. So having an environment physically and also with the right people will make a huge difference for yourself. I'm also a big believer in timing things. So basically taking note of how long certain things do, so having like a time log per day of the different activities you have. I use a timer pretty regularly. And I also believe in something called Parkinson's law. And basically it's a law that states that the time you have is the time you take. And like life expands to that amount of time that you set for a project or for an activity. And it's something I practice on a regular basis. So those are a couple of things I'll say. A third thing that stands out is this whole nature of managing energy. So I think exercise, movement, just stepping outdoors, rebounding. A lot of people in the Tony environment do a lot of rebounding. I'm on the Fit Desk right now. But anything that involves movement is helpful as far as engaging the prefrontal cortex. It's part of our brain that desires to focus. So I'd say that's very important too. Let me think, a couple of more that stand out as far as, I think also, I'm a big believer in starting the day early. Not everyone is as passionate about that, but certainly if you can start your day early at 5 in the morning, it's like hitting a home run, because by the time that most of the world wakes up 8 or 9 in the morning, you've already scored a few wins in your business. And sometimes getting that traction early in your day will have a huge impact overall with the goals you have. And I also believe in how we communicate with ourselves. So I'd say the 5th one could be, and I have many more too, but these are the ones that stand out. And like how I reframe things, like challenges that come up. I see every challenge as an opportunity. So if you're able to see that on an ongoing basis, basically ask yourself, what's the gift, or what's the lesson what's the gift in this lesson? What's the beauty of this challenge I'm dealing with? If you're able to ask yourself that, what happens is we become resourceful. We start thinking of opportunities and ways to break through those obstacles that are there. So those are 5 basic things that I'd recommend, and certainly have a few more on the website, hackyourfocus.com. I'm a huge believer also in celebrating the journey as well. So whether you're doing it with people or others, and Ruth, we talked about the bragging call on Saturday. I'll talk about that later on too as well, but it's great, an opportunity to be able to come onto a call or engage with other common friends and to kind of celebrate the journey that we have so far, celebrate the wins, the big wins, small wins, because it really does encourage us to kind of anchor in what's working and to play even harder. It's like any game out there. For any game to be successful, any sport, the team has to come together to kind of celebrate every once in a while, and it's another way of inviting the team players to even play harder.
Awesome. Yeah, I completely agree. Joseph, let's show them our office.
Our office.
Our office. Let's see your treadmill. Okay,
yeah, I'll certainly do that. So this is my. You can see this is my Fit Desk.
Nice.
I've got my calendar over there, and my green screen's up there also. So sometimes I record videos with the green screen up. So that's a bit of my office here. But I love working and moving at the same time.
And this is my gym. I'm on a treadmill, as you can see. I'm walking around the treadmill, and that's basically, by being focused. I know some of your goals as well is to be healthy, right? So, one of the things that I appreciate by being in this group is every single day I declare my why. I remind myself as to what my why is, right? What's my purpose? What's my goal? And being in health, being in shape is definitely something that should be the number one priority, I would say, for a lot of people, because it's great to achieve success, but without health, we have nothing, right? Steve Jobs is a great example of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, so I love the fact that we're able to do this, be able to, to speak, have a conversation, do our workout. And I was just telling Joseph, and one of the reasons why I'm very comfortable doing so is because I saw one of my mentor, Laurel Engemeyer, and I went to see her in Dallas, and she had a seminar, with professional people. And then her daughter came in and just said, "Hi, Mom. I did something. Look at, my, I think she did a little wallet, right? And she designed it, and she put some colors in it, and it was all pink. It was cute." So Laurel took the time to acknowledge her daughter, right? Give her a hug, give her a kiss, and then share it with everybody. "Hey guys, just check out, what my daughter did and everything else." So she gave her that moment. And then her daughter left, right? She just needed that time with her, right? And of course, Laurel doesn't know this, but I was thinking, excuse me, this is a professional setting, because, when you're used to the corporate world, suits and tie and this, and later on throughout the program, she was saying how everybody here is family, right? Every single one of the people there are family. The people in the back room, they're all family members, right? And how they all help each other. So sometime actually the next day she had to go to another city and come back right after. Her daughter was there, and everybody was there to support each other. It was a great community, right? And that's how somehow I feel with this community, with Success Circle. And actually I think I remember somebody on the call yesterday that was saying the same thing. We're family now. It's been over a year. We all know each other's strengths and weaknesses. We're here to support each other. We meet once a month, right? So we get to actually meet and see each other.
Yes.
And we're all seeking to improve ourselves, right? Because no one is perfect, right? So again, I love the fact that it has become a community that's becoming a family. Well, that's a family right now. Right?
It really means a lot when I hear you say that. It really does. And it strikes like a nerve for me when I hear that. I'm very moved by that. And part of the reason for that, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but part of my journey, I grew up in New York. I was born and raised in New York for most of my life. And my parents, they came from India back in the 60s and 70s to build and have a better life here. Back then, after the Vietnam War, there was a need for nurses. My mom was an RN, registered nurse. She brought my father here too as well. But living in New York back then, it was a different world. It was a lot more dangerous back in the early 70s. So when I was 6 months old, my parents sent me to India, to Kerala, India, for a year and a half to be taken care of by my dad's siblings and my dad's parents. And these people, they loved me full-heartedly on this farm that my dad grew up in. When I was 2 years old, when I came back to the States, my dad just so inspired by what his family had done, what his siblings had done, his parents had done, that he made it a point to break them out of the poverty that they were living in, the challenges that they were living in back on this farm. And every year for the next 15, 16 years in our household, what I recall is that he sponsored one sibling after another sibling to come to this country to live with us. Eventually, that one sibling would, within a year or two, they'd move out, they'd buy a home, they get married, and he ensured that they had the foundation to move out on their own. Then he'd work with the next sibling to bring the next person over, and eventually, to this day, and out of doing this, whole thing is compounded where we probably have close to 1,000 people in this country.
Wow.
Out of all these people working together to bring one another to this country. And for me, like every holiday celebration, Christmas, Easter, New Year's, I'm just surrounded by all this love, by family. And when 9/11 occurred years ago, when I saw people actually look at each other with all this love and connection and wanting to help each other, at that point, I recognized that that's something I grew up with, that I wanted to encourage more about with people. Because for me, that's kind of one of my core strengths, is bringing people together in a way where, as family, we can support each other to kind of crowdsource each other's success on our goals. So it really means a lot to hear you say that. The reason why I've launched these Pure Momentum Masterminds is simply for that reason, to really have people We've never met each other. I have a county partner in Washington State we've never met, who, when I met my wife, he basically pulled out his Microsoft OneNote document. He read off something I told him 3 years before that, when I declared to him who my perfect woman would be. And it was exactly the person who I was about to propose to. So it's I'm grateful. I really am, to be around amazing people like yourself, Ruth. And
that's amazing. No, and I feel the same way. I really feel that, and actually, by the way, his wife is a great doctor here in New York City. So he married well.
Well, she holds me accountable to be better, man. I actually messaged her 2 days ago to thank her for that, because the most important thing that my wife provides to me, beyond beautiful family we have, is she holds me accountable to be a better person than I see myself at times.
Yeah, and it's a win-win partnership, and I see that with both of them, because actually I remember one day I was talking to my girlfriend, and we're talking about the two of you guys, by the way, just so you know. So I'm going to tell you what she says. So she got into a fight with her boyfriend, and you know what she says? Why can't you be more like Joseph?
Oh, no.
He's doing personal development. Well, how come you don't grow? How come you're not growing, right? So people don't understand how important it is, whether it's a relationship or whatever. It's not about being perfect. It's about trying every day.
Yeah.
To be a better person. That takes work. And she knows that, because she's been part of Tony Robbins and everything else. And we believe in personal development. So whether you believe it, maybe you may not think about it or not, but if you're with somebody that doesn't improve themselves, it gets complicated.
Yeah. So
it has nothing to do whether you're a doctor or not a doctor. It doesn't matter. But being with somebody that grows every single day, you guys are growing together, because this is what life is all about. Life is about ups and downs. But what are you going to do when there is those downs? How are you going to overcome this? There are tools, there are certain mindset, there are certain things to be able to overcome that. And by being with somebody that's going to say, you know what, I'm here, I'm with you, we're going to go through this together, and we're going to get past this, we're going to go through this, That's what life is all about. And that's what I find that we're missing some of those values here in this day and age. So yes, I do appreciate you sharing this with me. And also, in regards to family, I moved to New York about a year ago for the 10th time, I can't remember. And I was looking I don't have much family members here, right? I have my brother, and the rest, everybody else is in Canada, right? So, being part, and not just that, but I really wanted to make sure, because I've been to New York before, and the group were not as productive, let's just use that word. So it was very important for me to continue to be around like-minded individual, because that made now my experience in New York 10 times better than before, when I was here earlier, when I hanged around with people that didn't believe in that didn't understand what it was, right? So again, being around group of people makes a huge difference in the world. Buck Proctor also talk about the environment, and how if we don't believe how much environment changes you, let's say, just take an example. If you had a child that's born in China, and you guys are both English, what do you think the first language is going to be? Right? It's going to be Mandarin, because of the environment. So that's how much the environment has influence in you, right? So again, wanted to just reiterate what you said in regards to that. By the way, well, as you were talking, I didn't mean to interrupt, but my timer went off. That's mean that I've been on this treadmill for over an hour.
Wow.
It was off and on, not throughout the entire conversation. But it seemed as though calorie-wise is working well, which is great. But the last point that I wanted to touch before we end was about the importance of getting up early in the morning. And again, that's very perspective. It's a matter of perspective. It doesn't mean that it works for everybody. You've touched on it a little bit, but what would you say is the importance of getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning? And I know you shared through your group, I've heard about the book, The Morning Miracle. but yeah, so I know you also wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning now,
I do,
and
yeah.
how it changed you as well. And what are your thoughts about sharing with the group the importance of getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Well, it feels so good hitting a home run in the morning, really scoring with your business, your life early in the morning. And for me, it's a way of kind of doing more, accomplishing more, finish my day early so I can actually spend more quality time with my wife, my family later on in the day. So there are quite a few benefits to it overall, I'd say. Um, sorry, I'm just someone's reaching out to me. But quite a few benefits to it overall, but just really the ability to start the day powerfully is the greatest thing, I'd say, around that, and something that I'm embracing, and I'm also looking to get up even earlier than I am as well also. And a big part of it is having the right wind down routine at the end of the day too as well. That's something that I'm continuously working on refining, especially having a 1-year-old daughter at home. It can be a little challenging.
Awesome. All right, so again, tell everybody your website. Hackyourfocus.com, is that your website? And where can they find on your website, and what, in terms of the services that you provide? If they wanted to be part of the mastermind, is there something that you could give some of the viewers right now in terms of a little bit of taste as to what it's like to be part of the mastermind?
Of course. So hackyourfocus.com is a site that I put together with some resources that will support you in staying focused, engaged, ideas around managing energy, and even listen to binaural audio, for example, things I do on a regular basis that help me kind of stay focused and on point. So it's a great resource for that. And at the bottom of the site, you'll see a link to a website called bragwith.us. And what we mentioned before is that every Saturday morning, we have 3 calls where we invite members to join us on a virtual party to celebrate their week, celebrate their accomplishments, followed by feedback from some members too. And it's really like a positively minded call. So we have 3 calls on Saturday morning. So you're welcome to join us on those calls as a bonus for being here. And simply, if you go to bragwith.us and use the coupon code MOMENTUM, that will get you on, and you'll be able to join us for any one of those calls. So please do so. And more about me, if you want to go to successcircles.com, you can learn about how Success Circles works. Success Circles is one-on-one accountability. So it's like being paired with an accounting partner. Peer Momentum is a 90-day program. We probably have 1 opening left for the current mastermind. The next one starts in April. So it's a 3-month program, 90-day program, and you get to be around 30, 35 other people who are playing a big game. We do meet in person if you live in New York. We do have members in the West Coast, all around the U.S. as well, but it's really people in this area. It's a huge advantage if you're around us to meet in person as well. And that's about it. I also organize an Empower team, and we meet once a month too as well, twice a month too as well. So that's a bit about me. I'm very passionate about teaching people how to focus. As an entrepreneur, I've learned how critical it is to kind of master the art of really focusing on the right things and move us forward each day. And I'm very inspired to teach others on strategies and how to do that too.
Awesome. Thank you. And for those that are in Canada, you are able to join as well, probably just on the phone call as well. Maybe later on. I know that right now we're full capacity, and I know that we have some openings in April, but April, Avril, May, June, Juillet, so I'm talking in French. In the near future, for those of you guys that are in Canada that are watching this, I know many of you guys are going to, are in Canada. You're more than welcome to reach out. Reach out to me. Let me know what your thoughts are in regards to being part of this, and I'll be more than happy to. And you could probably join from. Would it be okay for them to join from a virtual perspective or with the phone versus they can be here?
Absolutely.
Be awesome.
It so happens that my current buddy his name is Ryan in Success Circles, who's also in the mastermind, happens to live in Toronto. So we have a half-hour call each morning. It's awesome. We start our day powerfully. We communicate virtually also throughout the day on how we're winning our day. So it certainly works out for members in Canada too as well. I will say that.
Yeah, it's a virtual world out there now. Now it's all about being, living the 4-hour work week life. And actually, by next year, I didn't tell you that, but I'll be communicating from Bali. which is going to be my new home. So yeah, so I'm going to continue to be part of this group. So it doesn't matter where you are. You know, if you want to be around like-minded individuals, nowadays we have no excuses with the internet, right? So so yeah, so again, tell us your website again.
Of course. So successcircles.com is a huddle calls. Peer Momentum, PER Momentum, is the mastermind. And of course, for a bunch of other resources and tools, certainly go to hackyourfocus.com, a bunch of useful resources. And by all means, contact me, joseph@successcircles.com. If you want to add something, or if you have feedback around this conversation, or something else, if you want to even share with me your theme for this year. I'm a big believer in setting a theme of 3 or 4 words that really connect with, you know, what you're creating for the year, as a means to kind of continue to focus on that and generating more momentum. So by all means, email me, joseph@successcircles.com, and
Awesome.
I'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. And so yes, so just I want to take a time to thank you. It's been a great time again, just, you know, seeing you again. I know we see each other, you know, on a regular basis, not see, but talk to each other on a regular basis on the Success Circle, but it's always great to be able to share that with everyone. And yeah, so the purpose of this this webinar today was to share with you guys, you know, the purpose of being around like-minded individuals. And again, you'll get more information if you go to the website as to how the process works. But basically, that's basically how it is. You know, you have your goals for the year that you've had in place. Secondly, you know, you'll be a part of a group, right? So you'll be part of a mastermind as well as a one-on-one accountable person, right? So basically, on a daily basis, you would get up and have a phone call with your accountable partner. Through that call, you'll be able to elaborate what your goals are and stay focused, right? And in addition to that, you have additional calls throughout the week. So you have a call on Monday evening, again, to declare your goals and to see how, you know, any challenge that you may have. You have one on Tuesday, the Tuesday hustle. You have another one on Wednesday, and another one on Saturday. Saturday is to celebrate your victory, right?
Okay.
So
and Ruth, those calls are all optional. Just want to mention that we do ask members to be at least 4 calls per month, so we do have 30 calls to be part of, and we have members who show up on most of those calls. But the truth is that, you know, the minimum is 4 calls, just so we know there's a heartbeat and that you're moving forward as far as your goals, and a willingness that we all have to kick butt and take names this year.
Yeah. So it all depends on what type of person that you are. See, if you're an overachiever, then this is for you, right? And you could, you know, and again, the whole purpose is to keep you very, very focused. There is a system for success, and you know, all you have to do is, you know, be around like-minded individuals, follow the system, and you know, this is a system that we've copied for successful role models, right? So just want to share that with everyone. So
Awesome.
Joseph, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. And yeah, guys, so look below. You'll see some of the links below. Be more than happy to share your thoughts, comments, questions, concern. What would you like to see more? And we'll be more than happy to answer any inquiries that you may have.
Awesome. Thank you all, and excited to play with many of you. Join the 2% Club. Talk to you soon.
And be unstoppable.
Be unstoppable.
All right. Take care. Bye.